In this video, I'd very quickly like to address something that I see an awful lot of people struggle with, and I've said this before, but I can totally relate to that because when I began, I struggled with this greatly as well. And I want to talk for a few minutes about zipped folders because I see a lot of newcomers get confused about zip folders and how they work and what to actually do with a zipped folder. The reason I'm mentioning this in this video is because in the next video we're actually going to go and download one. Now, a zip folder or a zipped folder, what is it? Well, really all a zipped folder is a container, if you like, that has inside it the files that you are actually after, the files that you actually want to use. So a zipped folder kind of is a bit like a sandwich bag, if you like. Imagine a sandwich bag where you make your lunch and you put it in those clear Perspex bags. That's kind of what a zipped folder is like. It holds everything inside. It holds the contents for easy transportation and easy storage as well. And this is why zipped folders are very valuable online, because they make it easy for us to share files and download things as well. You see, the main advantage of a zipped folder is its size. Now this is really clever. The actual files, so think about this for a second, the actual files that are stored inside a zipped folder, those files are compressed. They're kind of all scrunched together. Often they're compressed greatly, and this makes the zip folder a lot smaller than the size of the files that are inside the folder. And the reason that this is great is it means if you're going to download a zipped folder, you can download it quickly and fast. Now, I know this kind of sounds a bit bizarre, downloading something that's smaller than its contents. It kind of doesn't really make sense, does it? If you're familiar with the English TV show Doctor Who, any Doctor Who fans here? Put your hands up if you are. A zip folder is a bit like the TARDIS. Remember the TARDIS? What the Doctor used to travel around the universe in? It was bigger on the inside than on the out, wasn't it? That's exactly like a zipped folder. It's exactly the same sort of thing. So, the reason I'm saying all this is if you download a zipped folder, the very first thing you need to do is you need to unzip it to extract the contents. Now this is where a lot of people get confused. They don't really know how to get at the contents. And then we can actually get rid of the shell. We can get rid of the zipped folder itself because that was just the carrier, that was just the container. And again, a lot of people don't know that. So let's go and do this very quickly. This will only be a couple of minutes. Let's go and download a zipped folder. Let's unzip it and let's get rid of the original zipped folder that we used when we downloaded it. So you'll see what I mean. Let's go to the web right now. Right, here I am at the web and I'm about to download something. I'm downloading something called Composer. Don't worry if you've never heard of Composer, although if you have, that's great, but it doesn't matter for this video. We're going to download something called Composer that is a zip folder. So let me click on download here and you'll see on my computer in a second it should automatically start to download. Look, there we go. So what this is saying is you have chosen to open Composer and it gives us its full name then .zip. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to save this. So I'm going to make sure that save is checked, which it is, and I want you to do the same when you download a zipped folder. So we'll save it to, let's click OK, and we can choose where we will save it to. Let's save it to our desktop. And it's called Composer, and it's been saved as a zip file. That's great, so let's just save it now. Let's click Save, and it will download. Okay, it's downloaded, and it's 7 meg, so it's not too big. Great, so I've now downloaded a zipped folder. Let's just recap, so I want to make sure all times are on the same page here. I've downloaded a zipped folder that is now on my desktop. Let's go to my desktop and let's find it. Here it is. So, here is a zipped folder, and look, it's got a little zip icon on it. Now, to actually get at the contents, and this is where a lot of people get confused the first time they use a zip folder, to actually use whatever it is and get at whatever it is we've just downloaded, we need to unzip it first. The technical term is extract. We need to extract the contents. I'm using Windows XP. Sometimes, depending on what operating system you're using, and XP is known as an operating system, you might be using Windows 7, you might be using Vista. Depending on your settings, sometimes you do not need to unzip a zipped folder. Just the process of downloading will automatically unzip it for you. But if your computer doesn't, and a lot don't, then this is what you would do. Once you have your zipped folder on your computer, simply double left click on it and a little window will appear. And in this window, one of the options will be extract all files. This is what we want. Let's click on extract all files. A little extraction wizard window opens, and we just need to click next a few times. Click next, click next. You'll see it extracting here, and it will only take a couple of seconds. So it's now extracting the files from the zipped folder, and you'll see where they will be saved in a second. It's taking a bit of time, this one, for some reason. Okay, it's all done okay. Extraction complete. Great. Let's click finish. Now another window will pop open, but let's just close everything that's open so we can just recap and see what we've done. So what we have done is now unzipped our zipped folder, and look on our desktop, look here, let me click and drag this next to the original zip so you can see the difference. Look, we've now got a second folder that's named the same thing, it's titled the same thing, both titled composer, but look, one's got a zip on it and one hasn't. That means that this is actually unzipped, this is open, and this is still closed. If I right click on it and look at properties, it'd be interesting to see the difference in size. So the zipped version was 7 megabytes, 7.5 megabytes, that's how large the zip was. Let's just see the size of the unzipped. Now we've extracted the files. Look at that, 20 megabytes. So you know it's 2.5 times as large, which proves my point of why we zip stuff in the first place. Because when we downloaded it, it was a smaller file size. It was only 7.5 megabytes. Now that's great. So we've actually downloaded a zipped folder and we've unzipped it. We've extracted the contents. Fantastic. The final thing, just want to finish this video with this bit because this is really important. We now don't need this original zip, and this is where a lot of people get confused, and a lot of people have a lot of clutter on their computer for this very reason. This is simply a sandwich bag, simply a carrier, that's all. So we can actually delete the zipped version. So let's do that straight away, and I always do this every time I unzip something, delete the original that I downloaded. So I've right clicked on it, I'm going to select delete, and I'm now sending the zipped folder to the recycle bin because I've unzipped the content. Listen, really well done. I'm not just saying this, I can't tell you that there's so many people that do not understand what you now understand, exactly how to deal with a zipped folder when you come across one. So again, there's now no fear when you come across a zipped folder, and you will very soon. In fact, you will many times. In fact, in the very next video, we will. So what do you do now? Well, very simply, I just want you to understand that once you download a zipped folder, and once you have unzipped it, you do not need to keep the original folder. You can delete it, as you just saw me do. Okay, I'll be very grateful if you can just post a comment in the video, in the space rather below this video, as to whether this is all making sense to you. I really hope it is, and I will then see you in the next video. See you in a second.